After BYU's blowout loss to Alabama, by the way, hi, BYU and Alabama and everybody else. I'm showing face here. I wasn't on the recap of this for paternity reasons, but I am showing face. I was wrong. I thought BYU would beat Alabama. I see all the comments from Alabama people telling me I've never watched Alabama basketball. It was a historic performance. Shout out to you and Dion for covering it well in the recap, but not ducking from how wrong I was on BYU and Alabama. It was heartbreaking for me, though. I loved this BYU team. And I think Egor Demin loved this BYU team and this program as well, because after the loss to Alabama last night, there were a lot of cameras, a lot of microphones in Egor Demin's face. And there's video of him discussing next season and the potential of returning to BYU. This is what Egor said. He said, quote, AJ's an amazing player. For me, it's super attractive to have a chance to play with him on the same team. I think he'll fit in very well to this environment. AJ is one of the reasons I want to come back. This is a shock to me to hear a projected lottery pick being that pointed. This would be massive news for BYU basketball if they are getting Egor Demin back. Your thoughts?
Sorry, I'm logging into Chat GPT real quick and asking them how to say talk dirty to me in Russian. Cause I don't know. I honestly I don't know if I'll be able to handle that, G. That's a little bit too much for me. I need some time to come to grips with the fact that BYU could run it back basically, but add AJ Dybantsa and Xavier Stanton and possibly maybe guys from the portal as well. Uh, that's a scary sight. What one of the core principles of sleepers media? It changes on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes we have seven, sometimes we have none. But one that usually remains the same is that one of the greatest things in college basketball that you can do is getting back NBA level talent for a second year of college basketball. That's what it would be if Yegor is back in the fold.
It would be. It's crazy to me. Now, maybe we should have been more aware of the potential of this because I this blindsided me. Like I consumed a lot of the BYU postgame content because I genuinely just love this team. Why are you making faces?
Well, it somehow I just wish this lined up more with the joke because I was going to call you Sandra Bullock
Why?
because you
Oh,
said blindside.
blindside.
Yeah.
I mean, you are shaped like Michael
God,
Sam, so
wait, like who?
it wasn't his name. What's his name?
Michael Oher?
Michael Oher. Who's Michael Sam? Hold on.
Are you
Oh
serious?
yeah, you are shaped like him too. Well, you're more wired like one and more shaped like the other.
Move on with your point, please.
Okay. Anyways, I didn't realize this was on the table. I didn't realize this was a talking point, but apparently it is because Kevin O'Connor interviewed AJ Dybantsa at the beginning of March, March 7th, so 3 weeks ago. And AJ was asked about Yegor and said, look, if he's in the lottery, I expect him to leave. But if he wants to stay, we can go make a run next year. So that tells me a couple things. Like Yegor's comments, AJ's comments, everybody's whole vibe after this game tells me this. Kevin Young's a killer, number one. Because Kevin Young has sat down with both of these dudes and had conversations about next year long before anybody stuck a microphone in their face at the end of this season. Now, objectively, just giving you my analysis, Yegor Demin should not return to BYU. Don't see a reason why. I heard the announcer say it last night. If you're not a lottery pick, you probably should return. He's a lottery pick. Ladies and gentlemen, let me break news to you. Yegor Demin is a lottery pick. He didn't have the greatest season ever this year, but he has never fallen out of the lottery anywhere. He's a top 14 pick in this draft, probably a top 10 pick in this draft. He played great in the NCAA tournament. He's a lottery pick. So I'm kind of lost on why everybody's dropping that whole like, well, if he's not, he is. Why are we talking about a lottery pick like he's not a lottery pick? But the fact that all these conversations have been had We know that BYU is going to have the resources to bring him back. And maybe most importantly, we know this now. We know that AJ Dybantsa is publicly saying, I want to play with Egor. That's a huge deal because if Kevin Young agrees, they're going to prioritize three things. AJ Dybantsa, already locked up. Get Egor back, hopefully locked up. Get Richie Saunders back. We think that's locked up. If you get those three, I don't even care who you have with them. That team's insane next season.
Insane. Insane. And look, they'll have the resources. And also, like, there is somewhat of a factor. Like, yes, these guys want to be pros, and yes, they are lottery picks, right? But you never know, like, with some of these kids that do come overseas for the first time, if maybe they kind of like immerse themselves and love just being a college student. Like, maybe they like that. They've been pros their whole life. So maybe it's nice to be a college student a little bit and like be on a campus and have a little bit of a break from that grind, maybe. I don't know. But in any regards, the best part about this is, yes, one, Kevin Young is a killer. And I just love that the negotiations, like, let's say you're Yegor, right? There's some dollar signs at the top of this notepad right here. I'm Kevin Young. All right, Yegor, I'm going to start down here. You tell me when to stop when this dollar value is high enough, right? So I'm going up. You're not saying stop. You're not saying stop. You're not saying stop. You think I've reached the top of the most money. That's not true. We're BYU. So we're going to the other page here. We have more money and more money and more money and more money. And you can play with great players. You could pop, like, I have all the faith too that BYU and Coach Young could actually sell Yegor on the dream of, like, hey, if you come back, like, we're winning a national championship possibly. And you and AJ Dybantsa could be in the talks of, like, the greatest duo to play college basketball, or you, Yegor, and Richie, the greatest trio, the Heatles. Are there any Mormon versions of like that Miami Heatles team?
No, I don't think
That would
so.
that would be this then.
I mean, wouldn't the Mormon version be like Karl Malone, John Stockton, and Jeff Hornacek?
No, no,
Just throwing it out. Yeah, I don't know.
no.
Yeah, it's really cool to me, I think, for like Debanza wants to be there. That's my biggest takeaway in a way I didn't realize. Like he's actually going to these games in the tournament, family all decked out in blue. It was a big deal, obviously, because Alabama's the school you beat out for AJ. And like he seems like he's into the culture of BYU in a way I didn't necessarily expect, to the point where he is like publicly saying, yeah, I want everybody back. I want to run this back. I need help. Let's go win. That's something I've criticized, this since the summer. I've never viewed AJ Dybantsa as a kid that cares about winning. I've seen him as a kid that will jump around to fake schools, go wherever the bag takes him, do endorsements along the way, and make sure he gets his highlights off. That's what I've thought he is. But he's making a lot of comments like, hey, I want players that are going to help us do something special. That's completely rewriting the way I view him. And I think it's obviously appealing to Yegor, because if you're Yegor or Richie and you hear the best player in BYU history who's about to come next season say, yeah, I want these guys, that's got to be really meaningful to you. Um, if AJ Dybantsa is asking for Yegor back, where do you think he draws the line on the roster asking for guys to come back?
When it starts cutting into his money.
Well, that's never going to happen.
Oh,
Like, is Yegor or is Dybantsa like, oh yeah, Richie and Yegor, I need them dudes back, but
yeah.
nobody else, coach? Or is it like
I want Kada. I do. I can do without others though.
Cannon? I need Cannon back.
Well,
Dallin's gonna really help us next year.
actually, if AJ says he wants him back, you get him back.
By the way, I laughed out loud multiple times at Dallin Hall plays in the blowout loss last night.
He was so detrimental to everything.
Just he can't do anything out there. It's crazy. Okay, so we think Richie Saunders is back.
Yeah,
What percent chance is Yegor back at BYU next year?
24%.
I think it's a lot higher than that. It's
Think?
a gut feel body language PhD call.
Please, I would love it. Can I say my lasting comment?
Yeah.
You know how you said, like, the whole, like, immerse himself in the culture thing?
Hmm.
I think I'm wired like the Bansa, just wired like him. Nothing else is similar. you wouldn't see anything like me immersing myself in something if you're paying me to be immersed in it. Though I'm allergic to like fresh shellfish. I would be immersed in in Red Lobster if they paid me enough.
I mean, we know you would be immersed in any chain restaurant if they paid you enough.
God
Don't need to
damn
go
it.
there, but I'm just dying. I'm dying at you saying, "Yeah, I'm wired like AJ Dybantsa."
I am.
Both a bit delusional. Yeah, a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit. Yeah.
yeah, a little
Uh,
bit.
yeah. Okay. So you're trying to downplay the whole special like culture of BYU by
Not
saying
downplaying it completely, just quick little step back. Which BYU player do you think you're wired like?
Trevin Nell,
Yeah, shooter.
shooter for sure. Yeah. I'm
Shooter.
not as tough as Richie Saunders. I'm not as Russian as Yegor. Yeah, I'm very Trevin Nelly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
You just said it.
Why does it make sense?
Oh, good grief. It just makes sense. It just makes sense.
All
Honestly,
right. Well, I'm going
You're
to get
more
the
Coach
last note
Young.
on
You're more
this.
wired like Coach Young than anybody.
Since you never actually got fully on the bandwagon this year, and I've been the one soloing
Wait, oh, what now?
the entire time.
Wait just a Provo minute. I have been here. How dare you?
Well, no, because now you're disrespecting the culture, and that gets you back off the bandwagon. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to bat one final time to put a blue bow on this awesome season that BYU and my coach KY did this year. Listen, body language PhD speaking, watching Yegor in tears in the locker room after this game. This culture means a lot more than I realized, even to the guys that are getting the bags. I thought this was just a money play. It is a money play, but it's a money play that comes with clearly something special about that community. You and I have seen it from the outsider perspective. It's just online circles. The BYU fan base feels different. The
Mhm.
highest viewed video on our channel is a video about how a Kansas State quarterback said they were so respectful, it was weird. And then all the comments were like, this means a lot to us. Thanks, guys. Like, there is something about that community that you just get into it and you don't get out of it easily. I think that's going to play a factor in these decisions because we see a lot of guys that stay 5, 6 years at BYU to play and love every single second of it. And guess what? Now all of a sudden the world's paying attention. People that have come through BYU cart have loved BYU when it was just cute little BYU. Now all of a sudden we're looking at a top 10 team in the country next year with the face of the entire sport. The eyes will be upon Provo. And I don't think that's lost on any of these dudes who genuinely have a love for this city and these people. I'll go on record. I'm making my prediction right now. Egor Demin's returning next year.
Oh, we're so back.
And I can't
We
wait.
got to get the Provo, dog.
We keep saying that though, but nobody flies us out there.
We'll fly ourselves out there.
No, I don't want
Listen,
that. They got
our
enough bags in that city. I'm waiting
no.
for someone to
What
drop one for
you
us.
want KY to send us a PJ?
I want, honestly, I want the Dybantsa family to fly us to Provo, but that seems unlikely.
That's fine. Well, we're gonna make it to Provo. We will get there.
How far is Provo from San Antonio?
Well, I can give you that information right
Should
now.
we just go to Provo instead of go to the Final Four next week?
Man, BYU should be there. How far is San Antonio from Provo, Utah? 1,000 miles. The drive takes 15 to 17 hours.
That's tough.
But if we fly 2 to 3 hours,
It's probably a scenic drive, though.
I don't mind making long drives.
I know you don't.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.